guys, welcome to another Storytime story by Alejandro, because that's the name of the show and that's what it is. This was supposed to be quarantine-only show, but let's face it, in the US we're still under quarantine, so we're still gonna keep it rolling. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about one of the most incredible experiences that I've ever had buying a car, and that is when I bought my Pagani Huayra. Oh man, let me take you back to 6 years ago, when good old Alejandro was young, naive. He wanted a P1 more than anything in the world, and the same dealership that had the McLaren dealership had the Pagani dealership. So of course I kept going back and forth because I really wanted that P1 bad. I was really close to close this fund, which sounds really redundant, but it's not. It was a film fund that we were putting together, and I knew my commission was gonna be big. I knew it, and I knew it was just a matter of time before that went through, and I was gonna have the money to do it, because when I wanted to buy the P1, I remember having a lot of the money, but not all of it, and I never wanted to run into the situation where I order the car comes here and I can't afford it. I just didn't want to do that back then. So I wanted to have all the money ready, and it magically happened around the time, not magically, but the fucking deal closed around that time. And I immediately went to the dealership out of nowhere. It was like a random day. I decided that I was gonna go to the McLaren dealership and order a P1 because I had the money. So I showed up, I see my boy that works there, and he goes, "Bro, what's going on? What's happening? Are you finally gonna get a P1? I'm like, "Yes, I want one. I'm ready." And he goes, "Well, tough shit. They're all sold out, but there's someone selling his spot for $250,000. This was before all of the craze, all of the madness, all of the shit that went down with the LaFerrari, the 918, and all of those cars. So to me, $250,000 over sticker, which now, if you look back at it, I was a fucking idiot for not taking the deal, because I could have sold it for $1 million a year later, enjoyed the car for a year, and enjoy $750,000 profit. But I did not, because I'm really smart. So I decided, this is ridiculous, I'm not gonna do this. Man, what am I gonna do now with my money? And immediately the guy goes, "Bro, do you want a Pagani?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, but I'm not waiting 2 fucking years to get a Pagani. I'm not putting a deposit and then it's just gonna be sitting there." He goes, "No, bro. The guy that just walked out as you were walking in, that dude, he just canceled his order and they're gonna build it in 2 months." And I said, "Okay, what's the delivery time?" So it was like a 6-month window between putting the deposit and getting the car. And I said, "Finally, that makes fucking sense." I hate nothing more than putting money into a car. And ask anybody that put money to the 918, ask anyone that put money to the Valkyrie, ask anyone that put money to the AMG 1, how desperate they are that they have $1 million sitting in a deposit that has no light at the end of the tunnel yet. It doesn't feel that great. So reducing that time was key to me. And I said, "You know what, I'll fucking do it." I went home, I wired the money, I sent them everything. And to me, the coolest thing was I was gonna meet Horatio Pagani because I was gonna be one of his customers. Better yet, a lot of people think that Horatio is Italian, but he's Argentinian. So he knows how to speak Spanish. That's actually his native language. So I was very excited to meet Horatio, and immediately right after that, there was Car Week happening. And I wanted to go to Car Week, and I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go." I had an Aventador that looked like a piñata, like a Mexican piñata, basically. That's what I'm gonna say. So I had my Aventador, and a friend of mine goes, "Bro, my friend that's riding in a Pagani is gonna go to the Pagani house afterwards. You're invited because you bought a car. Do you wanna go with him?" I was like, now that I'm a very, very important person in the car community because I bought a Pagani or I put a deposit in, of course I'm gonna do that. So I rode with the dude. It was so much fun driving with him and hearing the Pagani from the outside, and even made me more excited. And once we got to the Pagani house, I realized, number one, everybody's wearing suits and like really, really dressed up. This was back then, not like what you see right now. So that was one. Two, they were serving champagne and like really fancy foods, which immediately tells you, you do not fit in, Alejandro, because you should never be there. 3, Horatio Pagani was there, and that's when I realized that all of the cars that were there were really nice. Like there was on the Fs and like all the most beautifully spec cars, and then I had the Mexican piñata hanging out there, like the Aventador. Everybody's looking at me like, what in the fuck just happened? And then the last piece of information that you need to know, I was wearing an old school t-shirt with Frank the Tank on it and a blow up doll with its mouth open like this. And that's what I had on. And I guess I just didn't think about it before, but that's literally what I was wearing when I showed up to meet Horatio Pagani. And I said, "Man, this is not a good time. He's probably gonna hate me. I'm so nervous, I don't know what to do." And I see Horatio out of the corner of his eye goes, "You're the guy who just got the car." I'm like, "Yeah," in Spanish. He goes, "Nice t-shirt." He was so fucking nice about it. I couldn't believe it. And we started bantering back and forth, and he asked me, like, imagine sitting with Enzo Ferrari, with Horatio Pagani, And he goes, do you want to talk to me about your car? What are you thinking? What do you have in mind? Let's go. So we went and we sat in a Huayra staring at a Zonda. And this is one of my oh man, this is one of the greatest memories I have. And as I'm sitting there, I'm going through Horatio, like, I want blue carbon fiber, and I want this car to look like the tricolor, and I want this. And he goes, let's edit that line. Let's make it golden like the R. Let's do this. And the wheels, and we'll match it. And the flag will be a little bit different. We're gonna do this. And man, that just didn't feel real. And I was so excited after that because I knew a month later I was gonna fly to Italy and actually go see him again at his house, at his factory, and fucking really do this whole thing, inspect my car. So of course my wife and I went to Italy and we were very excited. And we went to Italy because it was a friend's wedding. So we were driving all over Europe. We were road tripping like crazy. And let me tell you something, if you guys have never driven in Italy, just know it's like driving in Mario Kart. There's no fucking rules. You go as you please, you do whatever you want. Anyone that tells you otherwise is lying to you. That's the way Italians drive. Let us be clear. I saw a lot of people coming out of cars and getting into screaming fights, but no one fist fought. So that was weird. Like in Mexico, you would have beat the shit out of each other. But hey, that's Italy. There was pizza. I'm sure everybody's in a better mood. So yeah, we decided that we were gonna drive. So we drove for like 9 hours from where we were to get to Modena. And when we got to Modena, we found out that Horatio was on vacation. Of course, the 1 week where he has nothing scheduled except this guy, that's the one week that he goes on vacation. Now, I knew that was going to be a possibility, but I was tremendously devastated. So my wife and I end up showing to the factory. We meet everyone, and man, they were great. So I thought Belen was going to be so bored immediately because I said, cars, man, she's going to fucking look at this and be like, I'm done. And then they brought all the stuff. They start bringing the leathers. They start bringing this. And the car started to get more expensive because she was there helping me out, specking it up. And I said, spec it like one of your bags. And holy shit. Don't ever say that to your wife, to your girlfriend, or to your loved one if you take her to spec a Pagani, because man, actually my favorite thing about that trip was not so much about the build of the car, which was incredible, but afterwards we went with Francesco and other people in the middle of Modena, because everything is closed this summer, and we went to this restaurant that the owner was the host, was the waiter, was the chef, was the everything, and we had the most incredible food we've ever gotten. Like, I'm obsessed. I want to go back to Modena to find that place and just give that guy a kiss. Because honestly, it was legit. So the food was incredible, obviously. Then went back to the factory and Belen was even more in love with the whole thing, which I was so excited about. And then comes the time where Pagani goes, all right, guys, well, thank you so much for coming to the factory. Now, are you staying anywhere nearby? And we were like, we actually don't have any reservations because we're idiots. What do we do? And they're like, don't worry about it. We have this hotel in Bologna that is beautiful. And I was like, man, that's incredible. The Pagani guys are gonna pay for my hotel in Bologna. I showed up to Bologna. I looked at this hotel, which is, by the way, spectacular. My room was all full of wood, massive. The bed was in the middle of the room and there was so much room back there and so much room ahead. The shower was huge. You guys know how much I love my bathrooms. That was really nice. I remember looking at everything and going like, man, this is crazy. They took us to the restaurant where, I don't know if it's true or not, but like Bolognese like came from or something. I'm not entirely sure. But the ceilings were great. We were the only people there. And I was like, man, these Pagani guys are really overdoing it. As we were checking into the hotel and we were like, yeah, this is a great hotel. We'll stay here. The guy goes, give me your credit card. I'll put the room and I'll put the deposit. That was a really fucking expensive room, let me tell you that. But I enjoyed the shit out of it. Everything about that trip was so great because everything was so spontaneous. Everything about buying that car was so great because there was no expectations. I went in with, man, I love Horatio Pagani. I love his cars. I ended up getting one. I ended up meeting him. I ended up creating a bond with him, message with him here and there. I love him. And man, the amount of fucking fun I had on that trip, the amount of great memories that I've related to that car will never go away. And that's what I valued the most. To me, it's not so much about just the car. It's always about what's around it, the vibe, the positivity, the memories that come from it. If that's all good, that's when the universe aligns and all the planets are right there, and then, everything is gonna go right. And that is my story. That's when I got my Pagani. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. My name is Alejandro, and as always, take care. And by the way, Pato O'ward, my boy, McLaren Aero, is racing in the Indy 500 on Sunday, so fucking check him out. Let's go, Pato! Take care. Team Aileron.